You gotta give me the login so I can see. We have 9 subscribers.
Yes.
9 subscribers. I don't know who they are because I can't log in.
That's 7 more than the two of us.
7 more than the two of us. I hope Josh is one of them, even though he's not on the show anymore.
He better be. Also, Brittany.
Brittany, yeah.
And Elisa, they better. So
Better
that
be.
so that's pretty much more than 50% of our subscribers.
Is
Hopefully,
us.
hopefully.
Hopefully it's us. Hopefully we like our own stuff.
But if it's not us, then that's fine too. That's fine too. I'm not even sure if.
I mean, that'd be good if it's a bunch of strangers or a bunch of friends and acquaintances.
Yep. Okay. It did its little
We
thing.
are live.
It did its little Discord thing. I hate when I get all phlegmy during podcasts and then it gets stuck.
You get the best. Actually, what I meant to say was, welcome to Art Pizza. It's just the two of us today. I am
It sounds sad.
Brian Manning.
No one wanted to play with us.
AKA, no one wants to play with us. AKA Tag Champ Brian. I have no fancy tagline for the show. But I'm not going to say pizza that or... That's Josh's line. I'm not going to step on Josh's line.
And I am Edward Freyna on social media. You can find me as Edward Joss Stuff because that's what I do, I think.
Speaking of, this is my kind of show because only Ed will be drawing. Because as you all know, I don't draw during the show. I have to. Someone's got to keep this nut house in order.
Right. Even if, like when Elisa was here, at least that was 2 of us filling up a screen.
Yeah.
So it would just be me doing Magma Studio by myself.
So. And that would be sad. So we might as well have Ed doing this Your Art Here challenge.
Yeah, might as well.
Was this Chris Piasek?
This is Chris Piasek. I've been eyeballing this one for a while, and I was like, I like Batman. I like cartoons.
He has a Batman / pro wrestling, backyard wrestling vibe to it.
Yeah, and I think he's wearing a Psycho Garfield shirt on top.
Psycho Garfield shirt. I bet you he hates Mondays. Today is Monday, y'all.
Today is Monday.
Is Monday.
So, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it because I'm right-handed. Not like
that is interesting because usually it's on the left-hand side that Your Art Here stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Chris is throwing me off, man. Can't be doing that.
Chris, come on.
Chris is a cool dude too. I've talked to him a bit on social media. Not the flex that but he's super approachable, really really kind guy, especially as far as information goes. Like.
So, Chris, don't listen to us. I like the left-hand side open that you have because I'm left-handed, so that would be my preferred way. But
maybe Chris is
conforming to all of you others, you inferior 90%ers that can probably see images in your head, like sharp mental images in your head. So, Ed and I are going to be discussing this week's topic, which is habit forming, positive habit forming for artists, for creative types. And while we're doing that, Ed will be entertaining you all by drawing because in Procreate rather than Magma, so his tools will be better. You don't have to pay for some whack brushes.
Exactly.
Speaking of, Ed, did we buy your brushes yet? Can we buy your brushes?
I could give them to you if you ask for
I'm not, like, I want the brushes, obviously, but I'm more worried about can our audience purchase the brushes from you? Isn't that one of your goals?
Yeah, I get it.
Digital products?
I get it.
Make those brushes available for sale.
I mean, if people want to buy them, just let me know. I'm cool.
Hey, don't buy the brushes directly from Ed. Tell him you'll only buy it from like an established storefront that's available to everyone. That way you know he'll have to do it.
Not just
like don't do some back alley deal where you hand him $5 and he hands you like some thumb drive with brushes on it. like how Alan and I bought a dubbed or subtitled version of the Street Fighter animated movie in the 90s.
Was it like a straight up guy in the alley, like downtown?
No, it was
He's
it was an
like, what you need?
after hours Target parking lot. When the guy got off his shift, we made the exchange in the parking lot at like 10 o'clock at night because he was. It sounds shady, but he was also part of a anime club where they had like the software and stuff to do subtitling. This was in the 90s, so to have that technology was like mind blowing to us. So this was. I think I told the story before because I was also upset that we paid him like I want to say $10, but the subtitles that they included were like dumb jokes. So it was like legit subtitles with like dumb jokes sprinkled in. I was like, come on. I didn't want this. I didn't want this nonsense. Come on.
I feel you.
Habit forming. Establishing habits as an artist. Who's paying attention? Who's listening? Everyone gather around the old fireside chat.
Listen to Uncle Brian tell you.
Uncle Brian. Because Brittany mentioned the book Atomic Habits to Ed. And when she mentioned that, I dusted off my Audible copy because I only listen to audiobooks now. So I listened to that again.
You're not the only one. I actually got the book as a present for Christmas, coincidentally. Mm-hmm. And I tried to read, and I find out I'm illiterate. I mean, no offense to illiterate people. But what I've been trying to do is to read and listen to the audiobook at the same time. And so that kind of...
Are you serious?
It kind of triggers my brain to help focus. I had to slow down the
audio
a little bit because I can't think that fast.
I don't read that fast, obviously, but like I speed up the narrator on the audiobook because I'm not also trying to follow along in the book. I'm trying to catch Pokemans. I'm out in the real world trying to catch another Raichu. So I don't want to go into the details of the book because obviously it's like, you should get the book, you should pick it up, you should listen. It's all good stuff. We're going over the super basics of what we were doing anyway outside of this. If you want like the cool stuff, we'll touch on it a little bit, but mostly what you want to do is establish, if you want to get better as an artist anyway, establish a habit that you will just start doing without having to think about, without going, oh, I gotta draw hands again today, like Brian complains. It's obviously, you apply it to everything in life when you're establishing habits, but if you can get it to be like a repeatable process where you're not even thinking about it, obviously you're gonna, like fall right into it and make your life easier. But we have to stress, as Ed always says, the more you draw, the better you get. Obviously, if you're putting in time every morning or every afternoon, whenever you establish your habit, you're gonna improve. You can't help but improve. So
yeah, as far as do it, I mean, I've been reading the same book obviously, and it's kind of like there's good tips in there, but I have to really. I think I have to take notes on this type of book.
I think you have to apply the stuff before it'll stick. Like he's got some amazing tips in it. Like he goes into detail about we should probably look up the name of the guy that wrote the book.
Give him a shout.
Give him a shout. He's got some great tips on not just like how to do the habits, but like the process, like the science and the process behind it, or the motivations, or why you're doing these habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear.
There you go. That's him.
We obviously don't get any kickbacks because he's not sending us any jet pins or praying money.
One day, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up.
But he has a tactic called habit stacking, which it stuck with me the first time I had read the book, and it's basically you have habits that you do every day, whether they're good, bad, or neutral. What you want to try to do is find one, preferably like a neutral habit that you're just going to do anyway, or set up an easy, simple, good habit, and then you stack on top of that. So like if you're one of your habits, like one of my neutral habits is obviously after I feed the cats, I make my cup of coffee and then I sit on the couch while I drink it when I could be drinking it in front of my computer. And if I did that, it's what I used to do. It was when I originally read the book, it was how I was habit stacking my writing. Like I would before I had a standing desk. So I don't want to be standing at like 6 a.m.
So your schedule is pretty consistent. I mean, like
yes,
on a daily basis.
7 days a week. Since I don't use an alarm, I get up 6 o'clock every day.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But like my actually day to day is so different every day just because of like kids' schedules and even work. It's like
it doesn't. But that's the thing about habit stacking. It doesn't have to be every single day. You just stack it with. If you like 3 days a week, you find yourself doing these same things every day, and you stack on top of that. Say like every 3 days a week, you're always like reading the newspaper or something. What you could be doing is like busting out a sketchbook or something.
Right.
So you have that habit where you're normally grabbing a piece of paper and instead of reading, you're drawing on it. And then you just fall into that habit, that routine. And that's 3 days a week that you weren't doing it before. So you're stacking onto like an existing habit. So like I said, for me, I would grab a cup of coffee, set it on the desk at my computer desk, and I would write every morning. That kind of fell off when I switched over to the standing desk. Mm-hmm. But I will say my neutral habit of just drinking coffee in the morning while my cat sits on my lap to warm my feet has slowly become a negative habit, a bad habit, because I would start browsing social media in the morning now. Terrible. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You should do what like people your age normally do and like read the newspaper.
Read the newspaper.
Smoke your
and
pipe.
Then complain about the mayor. Can you believe this? What's the mayor thinking?
He's crooked, I tell you.
He's crooked. And then look at sports scores, because we have the Raiders now, so I can look at sports scores, I think.
Oh God! Don't get me on football.
Football.
Football. You're not a football viewer, correct?
No, there was like a 20-year period where the only football I would watch is the Super Bowl, and it was not just I watch it for the commercials. I would legitimately watch it for the game, because most of the time the Super Bowl is probably a really good game. I don't remember many boring Super Bowls, but then I think last year was the first year I didn't watch the Super Bowl. So,
I stopped casting.
Oh no!
Oh, it'll be okay. Slight technical difficulty.
You talking about on YouTube?
No. YouTube's fine, I think.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's still going. It looks like it's still going.
No, just like mirroring my my iPad, because I'm mirroring my iPad onto the PC.
Okay.
And now it's broadcasting live as I draw.
Yes, and now we're looking at like your volcano, lava into the ocean backdrop.
So, that was back. Oh, it's back now. It's back now.
Yeah, it's delayed. It's on delay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm learning all sorts of stuff with with the iPad. Like I've had the iPad forever, but since I got the new M2 for Christmas, just a little the little flex right there, the little flex. But I've had the old one since 2018, so it was time.
Yeah,
it was time.
Time to upgrade. Treat yourself.
Yeah, if you look on the screen, there's an Edward Drawstuff brush set. Oh, interesting.
How do we get that brush set, Ed? Don't say DM you. You could DM Ed and pay him in a back alley deal like Brian fighting Street Fighter.
You meet me downtown. You'll find a crackhead named Marv.
He's only there on first Fridays when the other artists hang out.
Right. You'll find a Pachinko parlor. I don't know. I'm just talking about my ass.
It's owned by the Yakuza, so don't say anything.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing. You didn't see nothing.
Oh, look at that! I'm already into the inking phase. How fast was this?
Look at that!
I actually might be able to at least get this. Now everyone's seeing my. Am I even on the right brush? Rustiness. Okay, smoothness.
I mean, I don't know. You're on a delay, so I can't see what you're doing live.
Okay.
Live.
The
So
brush.
I will say, obviously, well, Ed's. Oh, look at that fat brushstroke.
Pay no attention to the fat brushstroke.
But one of the things that helped me really improve my art, obviously, is repetition, is putting those reps in. It's like, strength training. Like, you're just going to get better the more you do. And I mentioned this last week. I was way more productive in 2021 than I was for all of 2022. I feel like there were, like, every time I would draw again, like, I would do a piece, and it was like recorded for a video, so hopefully would do it for my YouTube channel, but it's always going into Instagram Reels or TikTok. But I always felt like, since I wasn't doing it often enough, there was always like a refresher, like getting used to the tools again. Right. And this year, I've already got several pieces done. One of them I'm not even posting on social media because I was just doing it just to get the reps in, just to build the habit. And every time I get going, it feels like I hit the ground running, and that's a tremendous thing. For, I think, especially if you can develop it as a habit and you're just doing it automatically, you don't have to worry about like, oh, I better get drawing again, because that mental hurdle is part of the issue that I hate having to tackle.
Right. I think that's a good reason why. Well, one of the pluses to like Inktober, I know a lot of people hate it.
But it's that daily repetition.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's that daily grind, and it's just like, I don't know. You know how we've talked in the past about people putting a lot of pressure on themselves.
Right.
But
because if you go from, that's like a 0 to 60 thing. You're going from not drawing all the time to just prepping to do this 31-day straight thing. Right. If you could establish that as a habit, which I'm sure a lot of I'm probably sure Jake Parker does it, but like they have that habit anyway. They're drawing every day anyway, especially a professional, obviously, because that's his job.
Right.
So, I mean, if you can do personal art every day, you won't be so bummed out like Ed and I having to do stuff for other people. but I will say, even something like the 100 head challenge or the 500 hand challenge, those are super daunting tasks. Obviously, you will see a lot of benefit from it, but if you can start super small, like you start with, like, again, this is another atomic habit. It's not atomic as in the A bomb. It's atomic as in like a small, tiny particle of a habit. That's why he named it that. So you start this daily thing of just drawing for 2 minutes and saying, after 2 minutes, I'm going to stop. You're probably not going to stop after 2 minutes. But if you just say, I'm only going to draw for 2 minutes, it's easier to get started.
Right. No, and
so
I'm pretty happy this year also that I've been constantly in my sketchbook. I've been doing less digital stuff just because I want to keep on the habit of that traditional stuff. And
yeah.
And I was actually telling Brittany the other day, one of our old co-hosts.
Who's Brittany? I don't know who Brittany is.
I don't know who she
is. I forgot all. What does she look like? I forgot all about her.
I feel that, she's this British gal we met in London.
This British gal. Oh, Miss Brit.
Miss Brit Designs, just for a little shout out. An undeserved shout out, by the way, because she's gone.
No, it's not undeserved. She's still part of the community.
She is. She'll always be a Jurassic Mouse Claw member.
You'll always be a Mouse Claw.
And
you don't know what that means either.
And an art pizza.
And a slice of art pizza.
Yeah, exactly. What are art pizza people called? What is this collective called?
Cheesy. We're very cheesy.
You've been talking to Josh. You've been talking to Josh again. You're like, hey Josh, I need some.
I need some pizza puns.
Pizza puns. What you got? Then you had to meet him downtown in an alley.
You got to meet him downtown. He'll give me a thumb drive. But I'd be like, I don't know how to use this, so you have to give it to me on like a piece of paper, like written in like dip pen.
Right, or a floppy disk.
A floppy disk.
You know
I
what
still
that
have
is.
floppy disks.
You know, I'm not surprised.
I'm sure I still have some.
Why am I not
Sure, like,
surprised?
I don't feel like the joke's not worth it. It's probably laying around somewhere, so
Gotcha,
joke's not worth
gotcha.
it.
Oh, but back to what I was saying about, yeah, I was just telling her, like, man, this year I'm just not feeling digital. I don't know if it was because last year it was
Super
work,
digital.
maybe because of work, maybe
Oh yeah,
because of
all the
our,
digital.
yeah, and I definitely get a whole different feeling when I'm like drawing on paper, or I'm more connected to that piece.
When it's a traditional piece, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's the teeth. There's the teeth. That's what everyone's been waiting for.
What? Get out of here! We're tired of your teeth and spittle
But
that's in your mouth.
it's funny though. Like I last year was doing way more traditional. This year I started more digital because I'm trying to get comfortable with it. But it's funny because I finished a piece and I'm just sad that like it's just sitting on my iPad and nowhere else. And I guess Twitter.
Hey, use Twitter. Oh, you're a Twitter person.
I'm a Twitter person. I mean, I post it on all of social media, but like obviously, I'm gonna have to find a place where that's just my comfort zone. I don't want to rely on Twitter and Instagram for hosting portfolios. So,
No, I hear you. I
yeah,
hear you. But habits,
habits,
habits.
habits.
So I know. Like I get into the draw mode and I like start talking like Brian's got this.
We've been on topic for like 25 minutes and I've been doing good. We haven't mentioned that fighting stuff, as Brittany calls it.
Shit. Now you got me
Or
going.
I think we did start that. I think we did start with some wrestling because of that piece you're drawing.
All right.
It's funny though because like this habit stuff obviously applies everywhere because I feel like I made the most gains with a Z when I was powerlifting because I started a program called Strong Lifts, and that program, much like Atomic Habits, it's like you gotta set your ego aside because it doesn't matter how much you're lifting. The program starts with an empty barbell on every lift. So I was going all the way to the gym to do a set of 5 sets of 5 with just the empty barbell on the deadlift and the squat.
Right.
And in your mind, you're like, this is too easy. But you're also like, well, this is the program. I'm going to stick to it.
Right.
And then you don't add a lot of weight. You add 5 pounds total. So you add a little 2.5 pound plate on each side the next time you lift. So it's this humbling experience, but you're going 3 days a week. And by the time you're at a weight that's difficult for you to do, you're already in that habit. You're already hooked on it. And you're in that mindset anyway of going to the gym and doing it. And then by then you're doing a respectable amount of weight.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I got my numbers up good that way. So, and it's funny because I kind of fell off from weightlifting.
Yeah.
I started again this year and I was like, I'm not gonna try to rush it. I'm just starting with strong lifts. So I did it again. I just started with the empty barbell. I started at end of last year, not the beginning of this year. Because I don't like starting stuff on the first, because then I feel like it's just a New Year's resolution and those don't stick.
All right. Like my
So
sketchbook.
But stuff I start like 3 or 4 weeks before, or even like a couple months before, I tend to stick with a lot more. So I've already got like decent numbers, not like respectable, but they're way better than I was doing before with the numbers. And it's funny because it didn't occur to me that they were basically atomic habits when you're just lifting small amounts of weight and adding more.
Right.
It's just you're just putting one more little pebble on the stack.
I mean,
And the next thing you know, you're Hercules. But not Kevin Sorbo Hercules, the real Hercules.
It's funny when I read books like Atomic Habits by
James Clear.
James Clear. When I read books like that, I almost like, yeah, of course, that's common sense.
Yeah, that's the thing about these books. Like, oh, of course, that makes sense. And then you just discount it. You're like, that's nothing. That's easy.
Yeah, I could have wrote this book.
I could have wrote this book. But he has he talks about these small 2-minute habits, but he breaks them down even smaller. He's like, instead of running for 2 minutes every day, the first day you just tie your shoes, and then the next day you tie your shoes, walk to the door, and then you go back down, take your shoes off. And then by the end of the week, you're finally starting a 2-minute run, but you're not going to stop at 2 minutes because you want more anyway. This is dumb. Why am I stopping at 2 minutes? So you're running for like half an hour.
Right.
And then you get into that habit, and you can't help but to do it. And I've been doing that with my writing again, and I think it helps that Alan is just as fired up. And I don't know if he's doing any kind of habitual. Sounds bad when you say habitual
drugs, cocaine.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got like a schedule like that set up, but I still have that morning ritual where like it starts too late in the morning now.
You don't talk to him telepathic?
I don't talk to him telepathically anymore because it's maddening. It's too much.
I just thought that's what twins do. Like you can feel each other's pain.
Yeah, but the problem is, when we link mentally, it's just Road Warriors promos that we're just constantly cutting.
Nothing gets done.
Nothing gets done.
You got like either Tony Schiavone or Mean Gene backstage.
Yo, Tony Schiavone! Yeah. and then like at one point when we're both tired of talking, we're like, tell him, Paul! And I don't know who gets to be our Paul Ellering, but like this third voice just shows up in our head, starts talking.
See, this is why Brittany rolls her eyes all the time. Like, oh,
yeah, because no one's here to stop us.
No one can stop us.
You can't stop us.
And now she's like, you know what? I won't stop you. Peace. I'm out. I'm kidding.
Is that why Josh left too? Oh
no. Josh will be back. Josh will be back.
Yeah.
You know. He better be back, or all you know.
Better be back.
Or else or else he ain't getting drawn tips no more. Oh, you think you could leave the podcast, but you still want tips on drawing?
Oh, you want that free thing? You don't want to meet me in the back alley to exchange tips, huh?
Right. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
We don't have to edit it.
I'm not editing nothing.
Because you hate editing.
Nothing.
You hate editing.
I just edit out the name of trolls from raids. That's all I do.
No. Like the soul.
Don't say. Yeah,
I don't even remember his name, but
I do, but because I heard it recently and had to. It's funny. Instead of cutting it, I just bleeped out Elisa, so it sounds funny.
Oh, that's funny.
I think that's today's episode.
Elisa curses, doesn't she? It's not just me. Okay.
Yes, but that's the funny thing is she's not cursing when I bleep her. That's what makes it even funnier.
Oh, right.
She's saying the troll's name, so it sounds funny.
We are not gonna empower you, troll.
You will not get power from us.
Exactly. But
art tips, habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear.
One thing that I actually, this is probably not art related, but I got into the habit of making my bed because I used to be a notorious, let me just get up and go.
That's a classic atomic habit, I think. I mean, a lot of people have pushed that, and I feel like that's like a very valuable habit to get into because like you start your day accomplishing something. And it's funny because you think it's such a small thing, but a win's a win.
Yeah, it's a small victory.
It's a small victory. You start your day winning.
I actually learned that from Diamond Dallas Page.
DDP?
Yeah, I was watching this video of his, and he said at bare minimum, that's the least you could do.
Yeah.
Like, make your bed. And then, like, yeah. I've got into the habit of just doing that every day, like, probably, like, for a couple of years now. And
it's the first thing I do when I get out of bed. It's like, sun's not even up, but that's, like, the first thing I do, so it's...
Yeah, but that's my win for the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won. If I do nothing that day, I made my bed.
It's made, but I haven't showered or brushed my teeth.
Right. No, as soon as I get up, I can't even go to the bathroom. It's just like, nope, I'm making my bed and then do it, functioning from there.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of time. It's not even 2 minutes. It's such an atomic habit. And it's funny because, like you say, you've been doing it for a few years. You don't even think about it, right? It's just super easy to do, right?
It's just super easy to do. I'm just like, why did I putz around not making my bed? What am I, a child?
Yeah, and I would basically I was writing at one point like 2,000 to 2,500 words a day, and then that kind of fell to like zero. But then when I started writing again, the first thing you think of is, oh, I used to write 2,000 words a day, and then you write like 200 and you get bummed out. And then a friend of mine, like basically who acts as my mentor, like I have weekly calls with them. He's like, why are you starting with 2,000 when you start with 50? And I was like, what? 50 is way too low. That's only 250 words a week because I don't really write on weekends.
Yeah.
I didn't at that time. I do now. And he goes, yeah, but are you going to stop at 50? And this is funny because I don't think he had read Atomic Habits, but he's basically pushing that same mindset. And he was right. I start with 50, and then by the end of that first week, instead of 250 words, it's like 1,200 words. It's not like this massive stellar thing, but a win's a win. It's like the bed's made. By the end of the week, I got 1,200 words that I didn't have the week before because 2,000 words a day felt too daunting.
Right. So, like, let's say, like, as artists, though, what do you think stops artists from, like, improving on themselves daily?
They don't want to put the rep. I say they. We don't want to put the reps in.
Those people.
You people.
Those
you know who I'm talking about.
Those unhabitual non-practitioners.
You're not habitual artists. Again, this is from the Atomic Habits book, but I've heard it elsewhere in other like anecdotes as well. But like he talks about a photography class where one half was graded on the number of pictures they took, and the other half was graded on a single picture for like trying to get like the best possible picture. And the teacher basically did that as an experiment. And I heard this as both photography class and a pottery class. So I don't know which one it actually is. It could be both. But basically what they found was the group that was graded on just quantity, not quality, ended up producing better quality at the end anyway. On average, not like that they had the best, but on average they had better quality because they were constantly taking photos or making pottery. I don't know which story we're moving in. So if you do the same thing, if you're just drawing Batman every day, like if you're getting graded on the amount of times you can draw Batman versus who can draw the best Batman, the single best Batman cover by the end of the semester, the people that are drawing every day are going to be the ones that will be able to experiment and improve and learn like little things.
Right.
And this is a weird thing that I do. I draw the same image like 5 times. And the only reason I'm able to do that now is because I watch Eric Canetti's videos where he will scrap an image that looks like he was an hour into.
Oh, yeah. You're like, no, over. Eric. No, Eric Canetti.
No, what are you doing? And it's like a time-lapse thing. So I don't know how he actually feels about it, but it's like, it's gut-wrenching to me to watch him do that. And so I'll actually draw a piece over and over again until I like the final version.
Right.
But the way I do it is I'm not quite as brave. I won't abandon, like, I won't even turn off a layer and start over. I'll start a new file in Procreate and go from there.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and oftentimes if I'm very happy with the end result, I'll go back and delete the other ones. But It looks like he just deletes it
completely
on the fly. He obliterates it on the fly.
He's just flexing.
He's flexing. He doesn't seem the type to flex like that. But I do find like the end result is a better version. It's closer to what I don't want to say what I saw in my mind because, as you know, I don't really see it in my mind. It's closer to what I'm conceptualizing if I like the third or fourth time around.
Right.
And I've done pieces like that in a sketchbook, not 5 times. I've drawn like a complete page, like I did, like 2 hours of rendering on a piece. Didn't like the way it looked, so I turned the page and just did it again. like either the next day or the same day, and it always turns out better the second time.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Lessons are fresh.
I wish I was like that. Often I just like, all right, well, unlike you, I can picture, I can picture.
Oh, you have that disadvantage? I'm sorry.
I have this disadvantage where I can see it before I draw. No, I mean, and I'm not saying it's like 100%, but I have a general idea. Like, okay, this guy is gonna have like this shaped mouth and this tongue sticking out and his teeth. You know, when you do like,
like we're looking at right now.
Exactly. But yeah, like, man, I hate like, but I have gone through the process of working on stuff for like maybe 2-3 hours, and like to the point where it's like I guess it's finished, and then I just like, you know what, I don't like it. This will never see the light of day.
Yeah, and not that you draw the same one over again, but
Yeah.
you draw a different one, right? You with those lessons fresh in mind, you approach another piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I don't want everyone to think you have to draw the same image over and over again. I guess the latest one I did was that Panthro. I drew that Panthro during the magma thing.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And then just the next day opened Procreate and just drew the Panthro in that one, and then an ugly Ninja Turtle next to him. So that goofy head, that little goofy head.
I like.
I hate Ninja Turtle heads.
They're like a peanut.
Yeah,
Kinda
I'm
like
gonna draw 5 Ninja Turtle heads. Like, but there's only 4 turtles. Yeah, but I want reps. I got reps.
I got reps.
Get those reps in.
But like, even though like I consider some of those drawings like a failure, like for presentation, I don't really consider a failure because it's like, oh, that was just practice. That's just me.
Yeah.
Knowing what not to do next time. You know.
Yeah. It's funny because 2 years ago, I would say maybe 3 years ago, before the Mouse Claw podcast, before we realized that we had that addiction to social media, like we're not doing it for likes and retweets anymore. So it's a lot easier to throw these pieces away or not show them to anyone, not post them anywhere, and then just treat it as a lesson. So I was on Twitter today. Some guy posted footage of him doing squats, and he hated every rep. He's like, I didn't do a single rep correctly. And his mindset was like, none of those counted. And I'm like, bro, like 95% reps are still way more valuable than 0% reps.
Your muscles think they counted.
Yeah. Like in the long run, if you're a professional, obviously you're like fine tuning stuff to like a razor's edge. But if you're trying to get back into shape, squatting is squatting.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're trying to develop these habits. Drawing is drawing. You don't have to do the 100 head challenge every day. If it's too much, then just draw one. Just draw your favorite. I was about to say comic book character, but I'm guessing a lot of people watch more anime than read comic books now. So draw your favorite anime character. And I was about to just date myself and say draw Goku, but does anyone watch Dragon Ball Z anymore? Or is that an old head cartoon now?
No. Well, my son loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one of his top. That and One Piece. But me, I'm watching Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man. I was going to start watching that.
Yeah, it's
start watching it.
Definitely up my alley. But my son doesn't seem interested in it. Maybe because I'm watching it.
Okay.
He's like, oh, Dad's watching that. It can't possibly be good.
My kids recommend stuff to me, and they get excited when I watch it. So, like, they recommend Chainsaw Man. Because my son's caught up on the manga right now, so he's like, you got to watch Chainsaw Man or read it.
Oh, they read it too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about reading.
That reading stuff. But if you watch the anime while reading the manga at the same time.
Right. Can you do that?
So, anyway, habits.
Habits. What else can we... Habits. Oh, I was looking at an article about habits for artists, and it was like a list. I don't know. As usual, as of like last week, I'm not prepared.
Is it a listicle?
I have
7 things you can do.
Something like that. But one of them was like, don't do art. I was like, no.
That's a dumb habit. Don't do art.
Oh, well, I understand some people need to like find their center.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
because they have art block. Art block.
I knew you were gonna air quote that one. Art block.
I'm kidding. Art block's a thing if you're weak.
If you're not a habitual artist.
If you're not a habitual artist, then it's definitely a thing. Not kidding. I'll stop. I don't mean to tease, but I
No
mean,
one cares.
yeah. No one's listening.
No one's listening.
No, people are listening. I hope. I hope. But what am I doing?
You're talking about the list of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
One of them was don't do art, which like you said, it's a good way to step away and refresh your batteries and recharge. But like, I don't know that like it's a regular thing that you should be doing. I don't think you should regularly not do art and say that's good for getting your improving your art.
Right. No, that's I don't know what whoever made that list because I can't trust articles online at all.
Yeah, I mean because they found that like those list style articles tend to get like good traction, so a lot of people are just doing that, and they always have like there's like dumb rules like well you do a list but you don't do like an even number or like an instinctive number. You don't do like 10 or 15. You do an odd number like 7 or 11.
Right.
And then for some reason it sounds more official. So they all do that same approach.
Yeah.
They're all in the habit of writing articles like that.
They're in the habit
And
of
then
just trying to
we're
make
in the
money.
We're in the habit of clicking on them.
I click on them and I'm thinking this person must be educated or knowledgeable because they're on the internet.
Yeah, they're on the internet, and he obviously knows how many items he should be writing about. So this is a very useful list. It's not. I mean,
It's like this
It's not always
podcast.
useful.
It's like this podcast. Like I never claim I know anything except
yeah, we're here to share our experience, right? We're just
yeah. So take it with a grain of salt. If there's something I say that you don't like art block is fake news,
or wrist injuries aren't real. Our wrist injuries aren't real.
then you don't have to agree.
We're here to let you know that we have seen improvement in our own art with these tips and tricks that we're sharing, or in my case, the constant deluge of self-help books I'm always like pushing off on you guys.
Well, if I'm interested in like reading something, I'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah, because like one of my habits every year is read because this is like dude bro hustle culture stuff, but the average successful CEO reads 50 books a year. So I set that as my goal every year, 50 books a year. Audible makes it a lot easier because I don't care what you say or think about Audible. I don't care if you don't believe any of the research that says the same parts of the brain are working when you listen to an audiobook as when you read it. Doesn't matter to me because I listen to audiobooks in the car or when I'm walking, and I always find value in them. Like I'm always applying stuff from them. So I don't even need research to justify why I'm doing it. Yeah. I've already seen improvement. Like
however you take in the knowledge is how you take it in. You know.
Yeah. So when I say 50 books, it's not just nonfiction too. Like I just finished a book from a thriller series called like a tier 1 series book. Brian Andrews is the author, I believe, but like I read those type of books because I write those kind of stories too, so it's part of the research in that.
Right.
And I enjoy it. I enjoy that stuff. Like you write what you enjoy, so.
Yeah.
But like the self-help stuff, it's strictly for improvement. And I've 50 books, they're not all good. That's the thing.
Oh no. No.
A lot of them cover the same stuff too.
I hate when I purchase a book and it's like I can immediately tell like no.
Yeah, not for me.
Not for me. I'm gonna leave this book at the local coffee shop.
But, oh, that's messed up. It's okay though. Like if you're not feeling a book, it's okay to just stop.
Yeah, you don't have to read it.
Yeah, if it's a nonfiction book and they're retreading the same stuff. This is a tip that Alan just told me about last week. if you're reading a nonfiction book and they're covering a lot of the same ground, skip that chapter. You already know that stuff.
Yeah. You're not missing nothing.
You're not missing anything.
You'll get
It's
there.
good to reinforce it because, like I said, I've been doing it a few years, so I've been either reading or rereading books. Like, it's not 50 new books. Like, sometimes I'll reread books or re-listen to them again. It's good to reinforce a lot of those tidbits. So a lot of the times when they're rehashing material I've heard before, I still don't skip it, but I'm probably going to start that this year just to make it through 50 books faster. I'm already at 5 books this year, and it's only the 16th.
Yeah, you're a fast reader. I'm just like
Audible.
I know, and I'm doing that more now. But I feel like I'll read entire chapters.
I'm walking 2 or 3 miles a day, catching Pokemans while listening to audiobooks.
That's what I need to do. Just get that exercise into as a daily habit.
As a daily habit.
That's what you're stacking habits. Like
yeah, it's a habit stacking thing. Like I have to catch these dumb Pokemon anyway.
So you're stacking like 3 things: reading, catching Pokemon, and walking.
I probably should stop with the Pokemon stuff at some point. But like the walking and the listening to audiobooks is something I've been doing for a couple of years. So.
As long as you're not dressed up,
as
long as you're dressed up, as you're not dressed up like Ash Ketchum, I think you're fine. Is that Brian? Is that Brian?
What if I am dressed up as Ash? I'm sorry.
Right.
Or Brock. If I'm dressed up as Brock, always squinty eyed looking at me.
Shit.
I didn't draw him like that.
Sure you didn't. Oh man, I like this purple on this dude.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I had this when Batman '89 came out. I'm not gonna say how old I was, but I got like these graphic tees of like Batman and Joker, and like one was like Batman wearing like it looked purple and he had like this orange moon behind him.
Yeah.
But I remember it was a big deal when I was a kid because graphic tees weren't like that.
It wasn't a big thing in the 80s.
No, you just had your
graphic tees was like graphic tees in the 80s was like the word rad.
Yeah.
And like a California sunset and maybe a black outline of a Corvette.
Yeah, you couldn't just go to like a store and pick up a shirt with a print on it. Like
that was a 90s thing. That didn't happen until the 90s. With the heavily screen printed on there.
Yeah, but then when what the hell happened? But when I saw this for the first, I was like, oh my god, Batman on a T-shirt. That's amazing. I need this. I
wonder if the '89 Batman also started that too, because it was like T-shirts with the Batman logo and like hats and stuff like that. Like it was big. It was a huge product thing.
Yeah, I think it was around then because I remember when I was around that age. Also, I was starting to listen to more like heavy metal, like in middle school, and you couldn't just get band T-shirts anywhere. You had to go to like this is pre-Hot Topic. Hot Topic.
Yeah. You had to go to the concert to get a
concert
or a Megadeth shirt.
Yeah, concert or like some weird little shop in a strip mall that sold incense and like bongs.
The smoke shops.
Right.
And Gil Hibben knives. You know, those really funky looking knives that look like made for sacrifices.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Like you could get the blade sword there. If you want.
Oh yeah, you could also get like the Highlander sword. Every smoke shop sold the Highlander sword.
Right. That was where you got like band T-shirts or
band T-shirts, bongs, and the Highlander katana.
Right. Shit. The good old days of no access to the world.
Good old days.
Man, like kids got lucky now with like the Hot Topic and stuff. I'm telling you.
I mean, we have print-on-demand shirts now.
I know. You can make your own shirt and like, you know what? I'd rather wear my own shit.
Yeah. I as I'm wearing someone else's shirt, I'm wearing a Flash shirt today, so I'm like, I gotta start making more shirts.
Yeah, me too. That's also one of my goals this year.
We need art pizza shirts. I was gonna buy a Soul Brush shirt. I forgot to do that.
Oh, that's cool. Where is he?
I don't know. He was the only one representing a brand.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? You stopped streaming again.
Oh no, yeah, I was the thing likes to go in and out once in a while.
Oh, okay.
It just can't handle my art.
It's too good.
It's like, stop it, Freyna. You can't keep doing this. I can't keep up. You're gonna have...
So Soul Brush was the only one representing a brand on our podcast. So lesson learned. Lesson learned. No. Everyone, that was the Soul Brush podcast that he was on, not the Art Pizza, because we didn't have a single logo.
Yeah,
so we will be remedying that.
He's really good about like branding and stuff. I mean, he comes from like graphic design background, so I'm sure that's just what they taught him. Is just like, here.
That episode should be up next week for anyone listening, so you get to hear his stories about like the interesting clientele that he had.
Oh yeah, and his foot fetish obsession.
And his foot fetish, not Ed's. No. It's his.
I'm not a feet dude. I'm all hands. I'm all hands.
I say next week, but this podcast is like, it will be live by the time you hear this one. That episode will have been out already. So
right. But yeah, I don't know. Usually we have like another co-host here to tell a pun or something.
Yeah. Thanks. It's funny that my name is Dad Jokes Brian on Discord. Why am I not telling puns?
Thanks, Josh, for not being here for us.
Yeah, Josh. We lean on your comedy too, Josh. It's not just me. I'm the serious dad one here. I just have occasional jokes.
Occasional jokes that your kids hate.
That make they love it.
Do they? Do they?
No, they don't.
Okay. Just checking.
Habits again. Habits.
Look at me.
I think we've covered the habits, right? I think we did good.
I think so. I'm actually
at an hour.
I'm at the flat coloring phase, so I accomplished more than I thought I would.
Yeah, you did like the full sketch plus inking phase and started the flat in this hour, so
not bad. I'll probably get this done like
not even an hour. It's been like you've been at it for like half an hour, I think.
And people are like, "Look how fast he is! He's amazing." No one ever said that.
It's like Brian listening to audiobooks on 1.3 speed.
Shit. Oh man.
Let me tell you, if I'm not feeling the book, it's 1.5 speed.
Yeah, or 2 speed.
2 speed.
2X.
The only time I hate saying this because I feel like people don't respect my nerd cred. I had to listen to Ready Player One on two speed by the end of it.
I don't blame you.
It was not. I was not feeling that book.
Was it Will Wheaton narrating?
It's Will Wheaton, but he's not the problem. He's not the problem.
It's the story. I
like Will Wheaton as a narrator. I like Will Wheaton as a narrator. Will Wheaton.
I couldn't shake
Wesley Crusher reading
right.
Ready Player One.
I'm like, shut up, Wesley.
I'm saying there's a point in the book where the main character brags about his knowledge of the 80s hit TV show Family Ties, which he's seen every episode multiple times, like no one's seen every episode, much less multiple times. So calm down. That is not the flex you think it is.
I've actually seen probably my fair share of Family Ties.
Me too, but not every episode multiple times. I watched the episode where Mallory was taking speed, Adderall or whatever. It was kind of like or was it Alex was taking it?
The special episode.
The special episode, like the one that Saved by the Bell tried to do, but Family Ties did it first.
Oh right, when Jesse was hooked on caffeine pills.
Caffeine pills.
The hard shit.
Pills.
Like, no one's going to respect you, Jesse Spano. Get some street cred and do some meth.
Be a real habitual user.
Speaking of habits.
Don't do that.
Don't do drugs.
You don't need that for your art. You just need Atomic Habits by James Clear. You don't even need Atomic Habits. We already gave you a couple of good habit forming tips to use. So it doesn't need to be specialized. Pick up Atomic Habits though if you're interested. I feel like he's got an amazing approach. Plus he goes into like the science behind it all. or like how to make it interesting, or how to make it like rewarding, or how to break habits that just aren't helping you out. And it's a great book. It's a great. I've obviously, for some reason, it's just been coming up a lot lately. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
It's weird when like something like that, like a book like that, just kind of presents itself to you. So
yeah,
it must be the universe trying to tell you, like, hey, you need to get on your shit and start.
A lot of times it's basically it's a reminder, because like you were saying earlier, you're reading it, you're like, that's just common sense. But it's good to be smacked in the head and said, hey, you know it's common sense, so just do it.
Just do it. Like,
put on your Nikes and just do it. Just buy slave-made shoes. I mean,
oh, shit.
I think they're trying to solve that, right? Nike, they're trying to fix that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like they've fixed that. I don't know if they fixed it. I don't know why I'm caping for Nike all of a sudden.
Right.
I've worn Nikes in a while.
Okay, I was wondering if you just got a fresh pair sent to you as a sponsor.
As you see right here, these are Pumas, who was a major competitor of Nike when they first started. Puma's the more established brand, actually. And I just learned that, actually I probably learned it and just forgot. Puma and Adidas are both owned by brothers that hate each other.
Oh.
Like they started one of them. I think they started Adidas together. And then one brother broke off and started Puma, or the other way around.
This sounds like the future of the Manning brothers.
Possibly.
Oh, man.
I don't like the way he writes.
Damn. Like your brother's listening right now, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get him."
He just finished. Like I handed him what I thought was the last episode of Void Hawks. He just finished editing it, and he broke it apart into 2 more episodes because it got a little long in the tooth for the last what the episode I called the main event.
Oh,
so
shit.
we have to do a final episode as kind of an epilogue thing. So I like that's one of the reasons I love working with him, is because he does that final pass.
Right.
So
no, that's good.
It's like a sanity check.
I wish I had a brother that worked on art with me. Would be easy because
he was my inker. Like he was my inker for a while. I would just do the pencils and hand him the inks.
No wonder you guys are like crushing books out like every other week. It's just like,
yeah, there's 2 of us.
2 of us. And like you don't even have to talk. You can just telepathically just like.
We cut Road Warriors promos and then have to use Skype to communicate actual writing stuff, because our telepathy doesn't cover writing.
One day.
Anyway, yeah, one day. So yeah, we've sufficiently covered the topic. I think we did good.
I think so.
We hardly strayed. We strayed a couple of times, but I feel like it was still somewhat on topic straying.
Yeah, and I think I'll have this done tonight if I decide to keep working on it. But
it's looking really good.
Looking
good.
Thank you. I just basically took what was there and made him a wrestler.
And made it your own as well. Like you added the teeth.
That's how you know it's mine.
That's how you know it.
Like, oh, that's Rainer right there. Edward Jaw stuff. Yep, that's it.
No, I'm glad I got to watch you do it, because I'm very I'm too precious with my line work sometimes. And seeing how fast you're able to just throw it down there, it's like, oh yeah, I could just do that, and it still looks really good.
Yeah, I used to be precious. Like if I was on like doing like ink on paper, maybe a little more precious. I mean, obviously, because inking takes forever sometimes. But
yeah,
but this kind of stuff, I'm just like, you know what, good enough. So,
yeah. You know? Speaking of habit forming and inking traditionally, if you haven't already, everyone should check out Drawbox. Drawbox.com. It's an amazing way to start freehand drawing stuff, and it gets you into like this daily habit.
Why am I thinking you got sponsorship?
I wish I did. Well, Drawbox is free, so I do have a sponsorship for free.
You're sponsoring them.
I'm sponsoring them
by viewing their content.
it's a very difficult. It's a surprisingly difficult curriculum, but it's habit forming. You know, it's you start small.
What? Habits.
Start small, and I love it.
Yeah, I
So
guess that's the
I should
big.
draw a box again.
I guess that's the big takeaway with our habits episode. Is start small.
Start small.
Don't overwhelm
Atomic
yourself.
small. Atomic habits. That's what atomic habits means. It's small.
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 Now that's cool. I think I've learned a lot.
Just from today, I hope, or just in general.
Well, just talking about it. Just talking about it. Actually, this podcast is a good habit thing for me also.
Yes, yes. One of the reasons I'm able to stick with like art and make a habit out of it is because of this podcast. Because I don't want to let you down. That's what it is.
Oh yeah. Everyone else has. Everyone, you're here still. Everyone that's not here,
Well,
you're dead to me.
I mean, Elisa just started, so she wasn't technically a co-host yet. She's still earning that position right now. She's on vacation though, isn't she?
Yeah, that's what
Like,
that's
this
what
is-
happened.
yeah,
Yeah, I think she went. Yeah, she went out of town.
yeah.
Oh, so we think
Or so we think. She's on another podcast.
she's on another podcast, like you on Thursday nights, who can't
On
show
Thursday
up
nights,
to
me
Life
on
Hour.
Thursday night.
Oh,
on,
I
a,
can't.
on a podcast. Are you guys doing Wednesday nights? Or are you guys still doing Thursday?
I gotta reassess my schedule.
Okay.
Just because my daughter, she's starting her college classes now,
Ooh.
so I have to. She doesn't have a license yet, so I have to be a chauffeur, and sometimes she has evening classes.
So she's still in high school, right?
yeah.
And she's doing college night class to get a head start.
She's a chip off the old block. No, I'm
Did you
kidding.
do the same thing? You didn't. I was like,
No.
did you do the same thing?
No.
Because I definitely didn't.
I had a 5-year gap year after high school.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I took a couple years off because I thought I was going to be like a comic book artist.
Yeah.
I was not a comic book artist.
And then I was thinking, oh, you know what? I guess I could do this art thing.
Yeah.
I
Is she
used-
doing CSN
Yeah.
or UNLV?
Oh,
CSN,
Harvard.
that's Harvard. No, CSN's the way to go.
Yeah.
No
oh.
shame. That's where I went.
No, especially. I mean, I think she's going to go to UNLV eventually, but
Yeah, all the core classes, you get the core credits at like CSN at a state college, and then they transfer to a university. So
yeah, exactly.
why go into debt?
Yeah. Why pay? Yeah.
They don't care about us. Banks don't care about us.
They
Don't
don't.
give them money.
Stop giving them money. They don't care about you.
They don't care about, like Michael Jackson saying, they don't really care about us.
Did he sing that?
I mean, yeah, it's a Michael Jackson song. Is it not? Am I confused? Is that a Janet Jackson song? That's a Michael Jackson song.
I don't know.
That's a Michael Jackson
I'm
song.
ashamed of myself.
All right, so we hit our topic for the day.
Great episode.
Great episode.
Oh.
We're all patting ourselves on the back. Great episode, everyone.
And hopefully we'll have our other co-host here next week.
Either that or, we'll
Or-
step our game up and then
And you can draw for an hour.
and I can draw.
And we'll
I won't
watch
be drawing
you.
for an hour.
We'll watch you complete a piece.
I won't be drawing for an hour. Not unless if you don't want me talking, because I'm not skilled yet.
It's
I'm not the character artist. So who do you like this year in the Super Bowl?
Is that
Who's
what?
your favorite comic book character? I don't know.
Is that what
You
character?
gotta-
Is that what
You gotta make
characters?
small
Are?
talk, right?
Is that what characters
make
are just
small
say?
I don't know. You gotta make small talk, right? We don't know
Yeah.
because Brittany's not here to tell us because she ditched
She
us.
ditched us. Damn. Still salty. No. Love you, Brittany. I'm just kidding.
You're doing your own thing. She's doing her own thing.
She's doing her
We're all
thing.
doing our own thing.
But Josh,
Her own thing better be art. It better be art.
It better be
You can't
art.
just-
If you ain't
you
here.
can't just leave an artist podcast and not do art. It'd be messed up.
but Josh and Elisa, oh, they better be here.
Oh, they better.
I'm kidding. No, it's definitely gonna be a bit busy schedule for me and for the next few months, and so I'm gonna definitely have to get more into better habit routine.
I feel like we've established this podcast as a habit, and that shows that even if it's only weekly, you can still set up as a habit if you follow that routine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a daily thing if you can't do daily, but start small. Make your bed.
Make your bed. First and foremost, that's the one victory you have every day.
That's your win. That's your first win of the day.
And don't do like Brian and have 5 podcasts to do.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Then you don't have any time to draw.
Oh, that's your excuse. That's your excuse.
Also, I don't want the competition, so don't be doing 5 podcasts a week, everyone. Pave the way for me. Listen to my 5 podcasts a week.
I don't think anyone's going to do 5 podcasts.
I tried. I couldn't do it.
We can barely get people to do one.
I know. That's why you need multiple groups, because you need 5 different groups. They all want to do one podcast.
Exactly.
But then it's like D&D, trying to like find a schedule that works for everyone.
Oh. For me, it's Saturday or nothing. You don't show, your character might die.
Your character's dead.
Your character's still there. Your move.
They're petrified, though. Oh, they failed the roll because you weren't there to roll the 20.
Oh, no. I'm not that vindictive. Or am I?
You don't want to find out, everyone. Show up on Saturdays in his first campaigns. All right, so we got it. We're done. We finished it.
Well,
we knocked it out the park.
Thanks for everyone that is listening or joining us, and I guess we'll see everyone next time.
Yes.